All right, so Chris owns a Ford F150 Lighting standard range, but you are not new to truck ownership. What have you owned?
Yeah, so I used to have a 99 Ford Ranger, and then after that a 2008 F150, and then now I've got the 2022 Ford Lightning standard range.
Okay, well, awesome. This is gonna be your first time driving a Cybertruck, right?
It is.
And look at that, you already know where to go.
Yeah.
You're like already a professional.
Absolutely. I've seen 3 of these and gotten to ride in a few of them. This will just be my first time behind the wheel driving it.
All right, awesome. Well, let's go. All right, Chris, let's go for your first ride. So yeah, hit the brake and then push straight up.
Nice moment of truth, right?
Let's go. So why are you smiling?
It's that, I think it's that initial feel of the steering wheel, and you turn it and it's just, you're there. And it's so quick and nimble. And for a vehicle this big, you're just not used to that.
Yeah, it's because this is like not like driving like a truck, right? That's not the feeling you're getting right now, right?
No, it definitely feels different than a truck for sure. And I see what you mean about not being able to see the nose of it. It's windshield wipers.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Oh, feels like it's gonna smack you in the head.
Yeah, imagine your head's right there.
Right. The regen feels great.
But yeah, I was telling Chris a little bit earlier that my 2 biggest negatives about the truck are these A-pillars. You're really not able to see around it, and then it's still just a trip not to be able to see the front of the truck. So I think that's what he was referring to.
Yeah, and the A-pillars don't bother me too much because the Lightning also has a pretty thick A-pillar there, and in fact this one has the benefit of having a little side window that the Lightning doesn't have, that little cutout there. So the pillars don't bother me so much. The nose of the truck is difficult because you just don't, what's the space between the end of the dash and where that nose is? But you'll get used to that. You'll kind of get your spatial awareness and bearings about you.
Yep.
And it's the Lightning just doesn't have this massive dash. This is more front space, but it's got the longer nose, but you can see the end of the nose.
Have you ever been in a Model X before?
I have, yeah. My sister has a Model X, and a buddy of mine had a Model X as well, so I've been in the X a couple different times. That to me is my favorite Tesla, just the way it arrives in the gold wing doors.
Yeah, because this typically the windshield would come up to the back of your head.
Yeah,
and then but the windshield would not be this long. I mean, it's completely just super massive.
You definitely have to be sensitive with that steering wheel.
Yeah. All right, we're finally out of the parking garage, and we'll get you out on the streets.
Yeah, that's a great suspension over that speed bump. It's really well planted when it doesn't shimmy or shake or do anything crazy.
Is the Ford Lightning? So I'm sorry for all the comparison questions, but is it a lot stiffer, or how is it comparing to this?
So this one, it feels dampened. It's dampened better, and I think that's the air ride. So that when it's the initial hit of like the speed bump right now, that feels the same. The way down feels better dampened. The side mirrors are smaller. I'm used to the bigger kind of square side mirrors for visibility.
And then also too, so I know you've driven in one. You haven't driven it yourself, but you've rode a couple times before. Your reaction, but what's it like to see the back window? So you can't even see through the back right now because the tonneau cover is closed.
Yeah, you know, I think because I've seen it enough times, I instinctually haven't even bothered looking at the mirror yet. I just knew to look down here, and it's really well placed. It's exactly where you'd want it, and it's easy enough. If somebody wanted it closer, you could just drag it
exactly
right there. I really dig the font, that futuristic kind of Tron font.
Yeah, it's almost like a Cybertruck look and feel all the way through.
Yeah, and Tesla does this so well, this snappiness. I mean, look at that. It's not even a problem to move.
Let's make it right here.
All right.
Let's get you out on the road.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do a parking lot all day.
Right. I think not having the stock, like as I turned right there, I instinctively reached for that stock to tap it. And I do think that's going to take some muscle memory, but.
All right, make a left. Let's make a left here.
All right, we haven't gone left yet. Yeah.
Look, you even got some friends out there. They knew you were driving a couple Ford Mustang Mach-E's.
Good to see them. Good to see them on the road. Lots of good pricing and sales on Mach-E's.
Ooh.
I'm less heavy-footed than Sergio and Tony. I got that middle-aged man driving thing about me. I'm about the smoothness and the comfort of the ride, which this is really nice.
What does this compare to? So obviously you have an F-150 Lighting right now, but what other cars that you've driven? You've driven the Model X. Like, what comes to mind as you're driving this? And is this even feeling like a truck?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like a truck at all. It's very, very fair comparison. It's much more like a standard vehicle or like a a very luxurious crossover SUV, something that like a Mercedes ride or something that's more of a Lexus ride. It's very smooth. The Lightning is also very smooth. The Lightning's a little bit quieter. You can hear the motor in this much more than you can in the Lightning. But the ride quality it's perfect. It's really nice. And then that sensitive steering gives you that agility that you just never find. You never find that.
We're gonna make a left-hand turn here.
Hit that blinker.
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at that. I mean, dude, you caught that turn pretty well, too, man.
No, and there are times with the Lightning where that is just something as simple as that turn, because you're so long, your nose is out there, and you worry that you're going to hit the car next to you, or you're worried that you're going to hit the median on your left. And in the Lightning, you have to be aware of your turning curve. And this one, it just whips right around that corner, no problem. This is really great. I mean, this is as great as the styling is of the Cybertruck and how much attention it gets. For me, what I really appreciate is, I think, we're driving what cars will all be in 10 years from now, which is typical of Tesla. Everybody's just catching up to them. And then Tesla's like, okay, you guys are getting in the neighborhood on a user interface and being able to have over-the-air updates. Okay, that's adorable. Now look at this. And now you've got steer-by-wire, four-wheel steering, 48-volt architecture, Ethernet. I mean, this stuff is just...
Dude, I feel like why are you driving a Ford?
You know what it is? I reserved the Cybertruck first, 2019. I was right there. I did the single motor because that's, where my budget was. And so I still have my Cybertruck reservation. The Ford popped up first, and I just fell in love with it, man. It's a great ride. I absolutely love it. It doesn't have any of that new tech in terms of engineering. Hopefully, they'll get that with T3 and some of that stuff. I know Elon shared all of that 48-volt architecture with everybody, so hopefully that little skunk works team that Ford has is working on that. But yeah, I appreciate all that stuff, man. And this is one of those trucks that I think is just going to change the world. And it's going to change the world in ways people don't even recognize, because their vehicles will be different because of this truck, and they'll never know it.
Yeah, I think, I feel like this is funny enough, this could almost be a podcast, but the reality is that, like, legacy OEM, the problem is they have taken all of their parts and sourced it out to other companies.
Yep.
And so trying to have 500 companies write in the same code, not only write in the same code, but communicate to one system, isn't going to happen overnight. It's almost like trying to you've outsourced 500 pieces of the truck, and then is trying to like bring it all back together. And that's going to be really hard to do. And I do believe that Ford they're going to be the leader from a legacy OEM perspective.
Yeah, that's not punching it at all. How do I turn off the blinker?
Yeah, just press it.
I got it. Now we're
probably should flip around whenever you can, but yeah, I mean that's going to be the big thing, is that I think Ford will do an amazing job to eventually change that, but it's going to be some hard learnings right now, painful couple years, and they're doing it. Jim's doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean the vertical integration of Tesla is just unparalleled, and you can see it even in the fact that so much of the percentage of this truck is American developed, made, engineered, not just assembled. Many people are American assembled, but the sourcing is all really American, which I really appreciate. And I think the big difference is when you go to supply chain and you've just got all vertical integration that's local. You're not going to have some of the delays that Ford and others have faced with the supply chain. Yeah, so like this U-turn is going to be fun to make. So if I was in my Lightning, I could definitely do this, because I see that it's a 3-lane road. So a 3-lane road tells me I can make this U-turn in my Lightning. But if this was only a 2-lane road, I'd have to whip way out into the intersection to flip it around or do a 3-point turn. So this is one big difference as a truck owner. You would definitely, when it comes to making a U-turn, this thing is going to be great. My first U-turn, I'm excited to have it here.
Yeah, well, once it turns green or you hear that bell, it'll be time. All right,
there it is, a little ding, right? Little. See, I think I instinctively pulled out into the middle of the intersection. Wow. I didn't need to do that, and that's that muscle memory, right? Even in my head, I knew I didn't need to do that, yet I still muscle memory pulled out into the middle of the intersection.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, that's a great U-turn right there. I'm excited about U-turns. That's weird.
What did you do today? I did a U-turn in a Cybertruck. That's a pretty big deal right now.
Yeah. Well, the ride on this is fantastic. Feels really nice. Acceleration, see where you want to be where you want to be. That's just...
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I love about this truck is it's really, really responsive. You know, making a right, making a left, a U-turn.
I do think the regenerative braking isn't like they were saying about the Rivian. I do think it's not quite as strong as what I feel with the Lightning at speed. At lower speed in the parking lot, it felt very familiar. But on this point right here, I feel like right now, the Ford would be a little bit more aggressive on the tail end, I feel. It would be interesting to, I'm heating up your windows, man. So if I think this is going to be a petty gripe about the Cybertruck. I'm used to where my arm
Don't
rests.
do it. No, I'm joking.
And I'm not going to open it, but my arm rests here, and so I would normally be able to just roll this window down where it's fogged up. I've got to like reach back to roll that window back. It's not an instinctual position, which again is petty and stupid. It doesn't really matter, but my primate brain is like, why isn't there a window thing right there?
Yeah, no, it's especially as a truck, right? I mean, I get that. I think I'm just used to the Tesla where it's always kind of been back anyways.
All of them have them in that position.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's all that muscle memory stuff, right? Same thing with the turning. I'm used to just reaching up and flipping a stock and not even having to visually look. And so here, until you get used to that, you're gonna have to look down for where that button is, and it's not a raised up button, but the feel of it though, other than the muscle memory parts, is very, very much like a sedan sports car nimble feel to how you're driving, and you don't feel the weight of it. You don't feel the size at all when you're trying to steer it around. The acceleration is very similar to the Lightning. The smoothness of the ride is similar to the Lightning. It's got that pronounced motor sound that the Lightning doesn't have, and so that just is a personal preference thing. I will say I don't know where I am, so I'll just keep driving. You tell me where it's at.
We'll go down two or three more lights and then just make a right. Do you think you're going to be driving a Cybertruck this morning?
No. This is the highlight of my year. This is awesome, and I've been around them, but I'm always trying to be just cognizant of how special these trucks are right now, and so I appreciate you offering to let all of us get behind the wheel of them, because they're special vehicles, and I know that these things are.
And that's what I love, honestly. You know, I've given I guess this is technically my third ride this morning. Colin did take it out for a ride. Yeah. We had Tim's perspective, but it's just sharing that, and I get to enjoy it with you, because this is that I'm driving around more normally now. I mean, even my neighbors, like I'm thinking for them. I'm like, these guys are actually kind of spoiled. Let's make it right here.
Okay.
Because the Cybertruck is no longer like this. They're just gonna see me just driving it to Starbucks and driving it to the grocery store, get in the left lane. But yeah, I mean, I'm even getting used to it.
Yeah.
Seeing it. And yet it's still an anomaly. I mean, but yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I mean, people are pointing and looking.
It's definitely going to get your attention. You're not going to be able to drive by unnoticed, that is for sure.
Yeah, it's because you're driving the future, man.
Yeah, we are.
All right, just keep going down, and then when it dead ends, you make a right.
Here I can see when it's this left turn, I can see that A pillar you're talking about. You do have to kind of glance around it there.
Yep, so we'll make a right here.
All right.
At the stop sign. You can make a right. It does say do not enter, but you actually can.
I think it means do not enter on that left side. I see what it's saying. There, right back to the parking lot. Very nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. It doesn't take long to get used to the steering at all. That got pretty intuitive relatively quick.
Yep. All right, so final thoughts, man.
Yeah, I think
people are just like, what?
Checking it out, right?
Alien technology in real life. So what are your thoughts, man?
I think this is just absolutely fantastic idea of what the future of automotive can be. Just from an engineering perspective, I'm a huge fan of the nerdiness of it. And then from a form factor, obviously it's going to get attention. But at the end of the day, I'm all about how does it feel to ride in. I think it rides smooth. I got used to it really quick. Now I'm not like Tim, and I'm not off-roading my truck. It's a pavement princess for me. I'm bringing my wife and my 2 kids around, and I enjoy the ride quality of trucks and the utilitarian part of it. I enjoy that I can power my house with the Lightning, which you can also do with the Cybertruck. It's got all the room. It's got the fold-up back seat. The retractable tonneau on this is fantastic. That's something you've got to pay extra for with the Lightning, and they have options for that. But I think at the end of the day, it's how does it feel to drive? Yep. And is it fun? Is it relaxing? Now, I'll say that for me, being a big fluffy guy, the seat is a little bit more contoured and made for somebody that's probably 100 pounds lighter than I am. And that is just because I have a love of pizza and cheeseburgers, so that's my bad. But other than that aspect of it, the seat for me feels better in the Lightning, and that's just
Fair
again,
enough. Yeah, personal preference.
Personal preference. And I think the back seat, which I was in earlier, I'm 5'10", but if I was 6'4", like some of my buddies that drive Lightnings are, Joe back in the East Coast, and Will, I think they would, being as tall and big as they are, they'd have a difficult time in the back seat. But those are the only things that I notice, otherwise from the Lightning.
And then press park right there.
Park.
Yep.
There we go.
All right. I think you just gotta press.
Oh, that's reverse.
Just
there we go.
Just
Look at me, like trying to figure out this technology. I'm gonna double tap. What are we doing? Just tap once.
Press and hold.
Press and hold.
There you go.
It is. It's an awesome thing.
First off, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
we're gonna put Chris's handles in the description along with his podcast as well. Make sure you check him out, and thanks for your time, man.
Thank you guys.